Hey, crypto traders, happy Saturday. Without further ado, let's jump right into action and take a look. Bitcoin, as you can see from my chart here, may, and I'm going to repeat may, be taking its final wave lower. I've looked at the whole entire count in this choppy area that we've had near these lows and can suggest that potentially some of those threes and fours I was looking for may have already happened. Um, when we look at this setup that we have right off of this parentheses four, I have a potential five waves down, which if we stay below 8,700, maybe starting that move down lower. We'll see what happens at the bottom here, which right now projects at 7,400. Whether we get an impulse, a strong impulse or not, depends. Depends on the market whether it decides that this will be the final bottom. But I'm going to be looking for it nonetheless. I'll be picking off this 7,400 region with some small positions as I usually do tactically, and then look for that impulse to form to add to a much larger trade. But we'll see what happens when we get there. We have a potential short position or short trade, if you will, off this setup, which I may also be taking depending on how this forms. I have a potential, actually, if I update my feed just a little bit, see if it's a little bit lagged. In TradingView, I can see another five down off very low in this resistance area that goes up to 8,700. So I may be taking a little short position, even though I've said several times I'm going to stop shorting. This one gives a pretty good risk to reward since we can get a very tight stop at the high that we've seen this morning. We can look at that in TradingView real quick just to see that close in. We have a potential, well, not quite five down off today's high, but we're just about there. So once we see this little five down, I'll make this a little larger for you guys. Once we complete five down, we should get a little retrace, which will give us a really tight stop at the high here at 8,400. So that's tight enough for me personally to short with a 7,400 target if I can ride that all the way. So we'll see how that forms. Looking good so far. Let's look at GBTC, which I've flashed every once in a while here. It has a very similar setup, suggesting that it's rolling towards 8 region. We've had my targets move back and forth between, I think they were as high as 10 and now as low as 8. And this setup, this 1, 2, which is lower now because we had an extension in the third, suggests that we could be moving into that final wave, which potentially could bottom just like Bitcoin. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see. I'll move this up for you guys again so you can see it a little bit better. We potentially topped Friday in a wave 2 or Thursday in a wave 2 and move lower on Friday. So I think potentially we can be moving down in the third this coming week. All right. And then just a quick update on ETHBTC. I talked about this trade last week. It's been a lot choppier than I want, and I've added this red. If we break below 0.021, I can see this run down to 0.018, 0.019 to 0.018 in this red BC. That said, the way this has moved and pushed over the wave 1, at worst I see a high B wave. So this pair strongly suggests a bottom as long as we hold at worst this red C wave, which I'll mark support if we break down into that region. I'm trading. I've got this long still, and I even see some nice movement off of the support region that we have here. So we'll see if that holds. All right, guys. So that trade's still looking good. That's all I have this week. I mean, really quick. Hopefully we get that final wave down in Bitcoin and GBTC. But we've seen a real choppy market. I'm always skeptical that we get follow through on these waves. We've had a lot of bulls fighting off those final lows, and this week has been no exception. Just a moment of housekeeping. If you are in Vegas on November 8th, I'll be speaking at the Money Show. I do those several times a year. I believe they're free. I know my talk's free except for on rare occasions. So do come by, say hi if you would like. Also, if you happen to be in Vegas on October 28th and are going to Blockchain Week, I've been invited to speak. Still working out the details, but I expect to be there and giving a talk on why I see this bull run being quite different from previous. It's an adaptation of a talk I've done lately on the Money Show. So if you have time, come by and love to say hi. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.